Hey there, guys. You're listening to Yakkin with Nick. I am your host, Nick Hazelton. Let's yak. I want to talk about something dark. I don't know. It's not too dark. I think we can. This will be an interesting conversation. But as these, everybody knows that the school shooting happened right in I believe it was Florida recently, and everybody's been talking. People have been talking about it. And politicizing this issue as happens to every school shooting. The conservatives rant and rave about how we need more guns so that bad people like this can be stopped right away, and liberals cry that we need to have guns taken away so that these people can't shoot people. And I'm so sick of it, man. It's just not anything I want to deal with anymore. I'm so tired of the gun issue. Partly because I didn't want to make this about politics. I don't want to make this about politics, so I'm not even going to get into it. Because I don't think this is about guns, this issue of school shootings. I don't think it's about that. I don't think it has anything to do with the tools that are being used to hurt people. I think what the problem is that people are hurting people, killing people, and they desire it. And I think this, because let's look at what this is. Like, what is happening? What happened? I don't know the exact details, but let's break it down simply. A kid was so upset with life, with himself, with the people around him. I don't know what. There was something wrong with that person to such an extent that they took up arms and tried to destroy their peers. That's crazy. I mean, obviously, right? That that's probably never gone through your mind. It has not gone through mine. That's nuts, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But that's a problem, right? That is a problem. And I don't know what the solution is. I have no idea. But the solution is not, let's make sure that those people cannot get guns. The solution is, we can't have those people in our society. And I don't mean like obviously rounding them up. It does not really make sense because you don't really know who these people are until they do it, or you find out that they're plotting it, whatever. That's not what I mean either, right? It's not about making laws, I guess. It's not. I don't know. I guess the reason. I don't know if you're, okay. This is how I want to say this. If you're going to look at an issue, right, you got to break it down to the source if you want to truly understand it and solve it. To solve it, something, you got to understand the components to it. And that's really hard. And I guess, like, to do this with school shootings, you have to look at all these components, right? And there's a big part of it is guns, right? The ability to throw a lot of lead, a lot of hard material at people at very high speeds, right? This is an efficient way to kill people, and if you have the ability to do it, it's dangerous. These tools are very powerful for that reason. That's why they're used in warfare. They're used to kill people. That's a component to it, and the availability of these weapons, that is a component to it. But is it the most important? Because we look at all these things like prohibition and of drugs and whatever. It just doesn't work. The technology is out there. People know AR-15s exist. The plans to make them with 3D printers are online. It's too late, folks. You lost that battle. Guns are here to stay until we find a way to what's that word? Obsoletify them. I think that's the word. Yeah, until they become obsolete. they're going to be there, right? So that component we can't really deal with. We can make it harder by tightening down laws, but man, it's still possible. It's still possible, and guess what? You can make them yourself. So if you're clever enough, it's not that hard to make a gun. And the plans are online, man. If you want to try and restrict the internet, dude, so I don't know. We're going down a crazy trail that involves a lot. I think that I have a better solution because there are multiple components to this, right? There's the gun piece, but there's also the environmental piece. These people are in a in this situation, right? Could we change that situation to make it better? And then the component, like I've been talking about, is the mind. Can we change their mind? Can we make it different, right? And this is the other component is the tools that they're using. Can we take away the tools? Can we change the tools? Can we whatever? Give them better tools, right? That's not what I mean. Like, don't give them better tools at killing people, but give them better tools than I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I was thinking there. Don't give them better tools. Whatever. So if we break it down to those components, I think that those last two of the environment and like where is this happening and what's happening to these people, I don't know, what's the difference there? Because I guess I can touch on both of them is the thing. I think I kind of touched on the psyche part of it. Like, right, these people are so upset with life that they're willing to destroy their family, like not their families necessarily. I don't know. I don't think that's happened. But in this certain case, the school, their peers, right? And I understand that these kids probably don't have like a fantastic relationship with their peers, right? It must be terrible. But I wonder why. Why do kids not like school enough, like to that point? Is it and what's happening here? Because school is a sucky environment. It just sucks. Like everybody knows that. The people there are assholes. All kids suck, especially middle school, right? That's a terrible place. High school's not much better. Everybody knows that that's like kind of the worst time in your life because you're stuck in this social situation where unless you're like the top person, and even if you are, you don't have, like, especially in like a big school. I was lucky. I went to a little school. But there are so many components to the social situation, and there's so many people around you, and you don't know what your place is. First of all, you don't even want to go there because it sucks to get up at 7 a.m., and it sucks to do all this work that they want you to do. And you just aren't interested in a lot of the time, and then you're stuck with these people. Some of them are okay, but they're all stupid because they're kids. They haven't grown up yet. They're not good examples for you. And they haven't learned how to interact with people, and you haven't either. So your interactions are the worst interactions because they're between people who don't know how to interact with each other. Common sense, right? So this is just not the best place in the world. If you had better role models and more better role models to hang out with, and I don't know. There's so many things that we could do maybe to change this environment. But I really think it's school, right? It's this controlling place where you're stuck in this regimented thing. It makes you go crazy. It made me go crazy. And no, I didn't get to the point where I wanted to kill my fellow classmates, but I definitely wanted to kill myself. And I don't know, is that too much to say? I apologize, but you know what I mean? Like it's a harsh place, and I think that there is enough evidence that if you look at what is this system, it is not conducive to human biology, and it sucks. School sucks. That's just it. Schoolsucksproject.com. Schoolsucksproject.com. I feel like I didn't say that right. Anyway, so that's that component of the environment, that's the school. And we could also look at that kid's home environment, and that would be interesting as well. I don't know anything about it. Just on my guess, based on the standard school experience, it wasn't great. And he was probably upset for having to be there because, and I don't, like, this seems almost unrealistic, but I get it. And if you don't get it, I don't know how exactly to explain it to you. But there is that existential like crisis of being in a place that you don't want to be in and feeling like, fuck, I have to do this forever, because at 15, all you know is the past 7 years of being in school, and you don't know when it's going to stop, and it just sucks, man. I don't know. I feel like that's how it is, and I think that is for what most people. I worry that when I say this is the way it is, I'm only speaking off of my experience, but I don't think I am, because I'm also trying to take from others, and I'm trying to particularly think of people's experiences in larger schools. I had a very unique experience, and that's why I don't think I'm actually speaking on top of that. But I don't know, it's tainted. I'm biased here. I don't like school. So I guess, to me, I think it is part of the problem, because it's the stressor. And when you can add stressors to somebody's psyche, it becomes more and more complex. They can't deal with it as well. It's hard. If there's a lot of input, it's hard to organize it in your mind and make it all make sense, especially if you don't have the proper role models, if you weren't taught how to do it. And I don't know, there are a lot of situations that I think could change. But I think that the main component, and the environment really is the reason why the environment is a component, is that it affects the psyche, right? It affects this last component to this issue. Is this person was fucked up? Can we say it? Yeah, that's just it. They're a fucked up person. Something happened to this person. Some things happened to this person, who knows, to make them the way they are today. Made them the person that shot up at school last week. It's not the guns, right? It's not the guns that made him do it. It's not necessarily the school that made him do it either. It's him that made him do it. But why? Was it because that he was shown that guns and violence was a fantasy? I don't think so. My guess is this person was badly damaged. He was hurt himself, either through abuse from his parents or somebody, in his family. I don't know. Or they were bullied by somebody at school. That's my guess. So, because that's what happens. I don't think you just get fucked up people. I don't think that just happens. I don't really buy this idea. And it's possible maybe that your genetics are just messed up. I guess maybe that happens. Maybe that's not true. Maybe psychopaths are just born. I don't know. I guess don't listen to me as I talk about psychology, guys. But I don't think that is really the case, and I'm not sure about it, I guess. Yeah, you heard me. I don't need to repeat myself. I think most of the time it has to do with, this person was damaged, and they've seen that kind of darkness, and they wanted to inflict it on other people, and they want to take life away from other people's, and often themselves, right? Often they kill themselves afterwards. It seems like this was not true this last time. I don't know. But I think that's pretty sick, man. I don't know. It just sucks. So I guess, okay, I think it's the damaged psyche. It's because that's the way that I don't know. I think if you're that upset, somebody or something had to make you that upset. So what do we do about that? What do we do about, there's 180 kids a year that get upset enough to shoot up their school. I don't know if that's really a statistic, but at least this happens every once in a while. Why? I mean, first of all, I want to make sure to say I don't know. I don't know why it happens. I have no idea. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not deep into this issue. I think it'd be really interesting to hear about, but I don't know. I don't know why these school shootings happen. The simplistic answer is no. Sorry. Don't need to attack anybody for using simplistic answers. But here's the thing: if we're going to look at it like the issue of kids are messed up, or some kids are messed up, we gotta look at is why, and the reason is because they had shitty parents usually. So what is the solution there? Well, let's fix shitty parenting. First of all, what do you do there? First of all, you yourself look at how were you parented, And how did you like it? Evaluate. Well, geez, that was all right. And then if you are a parent, evaluate how have you been parenting? How have your kids turned out? They turn out the way you wanted them to? Yeah, maybe you messed up. No, I'm just kidding. They usually don't. That's what I hear, at least. Um, sorry, I lost my track. But yeah, you evaluate how you were parented and how you've been parenting, and figure out how did that go, and then start doing some research. What is a good parent, and what makes that? I think that, to give a simplistic answer, it really is to, like, what makes sense to me is you're trying to raise adults, free acting, responsible adults, people who can take care of themselves and hopefully a new family someday. And the way you do that is you start treating them like an adult. Geez, how else are you going to learn how to do that unless somebody tells you or shows you how to do it? So first of all, you got to learn how to be an adult, right? If you're going to try to teach a kid how to be an adult, learn how to be an adult. And a good way about that, again, is to study how you were raised, how you got here to where you are, and then really looking at, well, what characteristics do you think that a proper adult should have? I have my ideas. I won't get into it. Look at that and then figure out, okay, how do I become that person? And then from there, now you have this understanding of, hey, I got to be the person I want to be. I got to be this man. I got to be this capable human being. Now I'm going to have a kid, hopefully, and maybe you already did, but hopefully you learn yourself, man. Learn who you want to be and become that person, and then start fixing other people, right? That's my point. Fix yourself before you start fixing other people. Anyway. And then now, and then you understand a bit about how it is to be, a human being. You've thought about it. You've thought about, well, how to get to one point to another. And now you can look at it and say, okay, how do I get to this? How do I get this kid to one point, from this point to being an adult? And you don't really want to recreate yourself, right? You don't want to do the same exact things that you did and teach them the same exact lessons you did. But you need to know what were the important lessons that got you to the point of, I think a goal of a parent is to get them to the point where they are strong and resilient enough to take care of themselves and have the critical thinking and reasoning capabilities of being able to make important decisions for themselves and not have to rely on you, right? Teach them how to get there. And so first of all, one of those things you got to learn is resilience. Right? You got to learn to be able to take a punch and get back up. And you got to learn how to persevere, right? And keep going at something until you win. So you can build these wins. So you build some confidence, right? So you understand that you are a capable human being of living in this planet, on this planet, and doing the things you want. So you show them, how do you do the things you want? How do you get good at skills? Right? And this is kind of probably how people learn in general, but I think that we miss out a lot on that, and you need, and it's don't maybe need to, but it's very it's important to be mindful of that, to be mindful of those processes and really figure that out, because I don't think parents don't think about parenting, and so they just do it partly because we don't have the same system that we used to. We don't have our grandparents as close, or our parents as close to help us parent our children, and we don't have those same relationships, the tribal community aspect that we used to. And now raising children is such more of an individual pursuit that your ego gets caught up in it, right? And that's hard, man. And I think that becomes a lot of people's issue, is they care about so much, and like, that's what when I say ego, I'm trying to explain that, like, their feelings get involved and take it personally, right? But like, you can't do that. I don't know. When you're raising kids, you gotta have patience, and is it hard, man? I don't know. It's hard to do that, but I think that if you're gonna try and solve the issue of school shootings, that's where you gotta start. You gotta start at looking at what causes that, and then look at those kind of similar things in you, right? Like, what causes you to be upset like that? Or similar to that, and try to fix that. And then look at your kids and the way that you're treating the people around you. Are you creating an environment that is stressful? Are you creating an environment that makes people get upset with each other? You know? Because that's where it starts, right? You build that environment where people are, all they see is just shit. All they see is pain. All they see is misery. All they see is people they hate, whatever it might be. All they see is that pain. And they don't see anything better with their lives to do than to end the lives the lives of people around them and themselves. So if you want to solve that issue, you got to figure out how do you make life worth living, and how do you make life worth not doing that? Because it's not. It really shouldn't be, and my life isn't worth it. And I'd like to figure out how do I get that life to other people. And man, we can talk all we want about gun control and whatever the fuck, but the legislature is going to do what it does. You can sign your petitions, whatever it is, man. But I guarantee you, most of you aren't out there doing that. But none of that's going to matter. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe you'll get your guns taken away and school shootings will stop. But I don't think so, man. And I think that we're going to keep facing this issue until people wake up and realize it's a psychological issue. We're treating our kids badly, and we need to shape up parenting. I don't know. I could go a lot of ways there, and I could say like what kind of parenting needs to change, but I don't want to give that, right? There's a lot of things that I think are wrong, and I don't fully understand it. Part of it is this, that kids are being treated badly and that they're messed up. Part of it is that they probably have a bad diet, so they're not getting the right nutrients to their brain. Part of it is that they have these other issues because of the way we live now. It's different. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what the issues are. But I think that the solution is better parenting and creating people who enjoy this life. That is the point of it. Make sure your kids enjoy this life, because that's how. And I don't know, if you don't enjoy this life, that's how miserable things happen. That's how terrible things happen, is when people don't see the beauty in what exists. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for you. I guess the last thing I would say is it's you that needs to change, right? It's because you can't change anybody else. You can't change the outside world. You can try. You can absolutely try, and you can have some influence. But if you're going to be a stoic like me, and you're going to really focus on what can I do? Focus on what's most important, and that is doing what you can do most. And the most that you can do is change the way you react to things, right? You change the way that you interact with these events, these happenings, the way people treat you, and you turn it into a positive outlet. You make what you do a shining example of, hey, life is great, man. And you try to live that, and I think that is the only way, man. I hate to get all hippie and woo-woo here at the end, but what else are you going to do? I don't know, man. I think it makes sense, right? Create environments that create people who enjoy life. And you do that by being nice. And I don't know, that's it, right? You be nice. You don't hurt people, and you give a fuck. Anyway. Thank you guys for listening. I will talk to you again soon. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'd like to know what you think. What do you think about these school shootings? Don't get into gun control, folks. I don't want to see that happen in my Facebook group. Tell me what you think about those aspects to it. I think I broke it down into a few components. Tell me what you think. Am I full of shit? Do we need to ban guns? I don't know. Whatever. I said don't say it, then I ask you. Do whatever you want, folks. I'm not going to kick you out of my group unless you say something ridiculously mean or something like that, or just hateful. So anyway, that's it. If you'd like to join that Facebook group, look us up. The link is in the show notes too. Yakkin with Nick feedback group on Facebook. Yep, in the show notes is the link. You can look it up. Yakkin with Nick feedback group on Facebook, and you'll find it. And then you can donate and check out some extra content. I'm hoping to get some extra content this weekend. I'd like to be doing more stuff with some of my friends that some of you know some of them, but not very many. And I'd like to be doing more of that, and most of that will probably end up being extra content and not Yakkin with Nick stuff. So if you would like some of the extra content that I already have up there, or if you'd be interested in hearing more in the future, go to patreon.com/justyakkin. That link is in the show notes. That's patreon.com/. That's the one that is leaning to the right. JUSTYAKKIN. Patreon.com/justyakkin. It's fun to do those, like to say the kind of the same thing over and over again, but I hate doing that. I usually don't, right? I usually don't talk about Patreon, but sometimes I do. On these solo shows, it just comes into my mind because that's what I'm used to. Whatever. I'm trying not to. Anyway, whatever. I'm trying to let you go. That's what I'm trying to do. If you guys want to know these idiosyncrasies. Do I want to explain it? Yeah, I kind of want to explain these idiosyncrasies. When I start saying shit, and then I realize that is not something I want to say. It's not worth saying. It's stupid, or whatever. So I try to stop myself from saying those things and keep going. But anyway, it's hard, and that's why I mess up when I speak sometimes. That is why I do those things. So, Anyway. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Goodbye.